Yeah, I was in the change room at the training ground when Robbie Slater and Carlton Palmer had a bit of a disagreement. During training, they had the disagreement. The argument carried on inside the change room, and they were both going at each other, and then it all kicked off. I can't remember who threw the first punch, but it was proper punches going in, wrestling in the change room, and we let it go for a few minutes before we jumped in because Robbie was getting the better of him at the time. But it was, and he might not have been. It was quite even. But within 10 minutes of that happening, they were talking to each other like they were best mates again.
Almost like just get it done.
And they got it out of their system, got it done. 10 minutes later, we're all fine. Had a shower, come back, fine, shake hands. Let's crack on with it. I think they both played in the same team, either the next day or a couple of days later. I think we went and win the next game, and it made no difference. Really, as long as Ricky said, as long as you can deal with it there and then, if it gets done, and then you can shake hands 5 or 10 minutes after, once the heat's just died down a little bit. In that case, clearly that was a lot more serious. But it sounded to me like the Sterling and Gomez thing wasn't even as serious as perhaps the Slater and Palmer thing. And I don't know. I felt it was a bit of a mountain out of a molehill.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I think he might have judged that one wrong.
I think the reaction of the fans when Gomez came on, I don't think the fans were kind of really having a go at Gomez. I think that for me was the fans having a little go at the manager and going, don't think you did that right.
Surprised me actually, because I think Southgate's handled everything so well.
He has.
He's obviously done a great job, but I think he got it wrong as well. Yeah.
But I don't know what the reason was behind dropping Sterling for that first game. I can't, because we've all said there, it happens. Yeah, of course it happens. You're never gonna stop it happening. And actually, when you're part of a staff, it shows you that the players actually care if it happens on the training ground. So you don't encourage it, but if it happens, then you think, oh yeah, someone actually cares or whatever. But in this instance, I don't understand what the reason was.
Do you think
he's trying to dropping him?
He's trying to stop the rivalry between Liverpool and City straight away, between the players, the way it used to be with Liverpool, Man U, Chelsea players a few years ago. But he doesn't want that in the squad.
But I think the thing is, we all said it. It happens and then it's done.
Yeah.
Shake hands.
I think the fact that Gomez
then carry it on with another action after that.
I think the fact that Gomez came out and it transpired that Gomez had said, "Listen, it's over and done with. Let's just get on with it." And he's the one that's on the receiving end of it, and he's saying that.
Yeah.
Why then do you then go? Actually, I don't really care what you want, even though you're the victim in all this. I'm just going to dismiss what you want. I'm going to do what I want.
Ricky, you mentioned the cliques within clubs when you're playing for your country. Does it make a massive difference? Would you avoid, I don't know, the Man United boys, the Chelsea boys, avoid the Spurs boys? Can you tell there's that division or not really?
I think I was at England probably at the very back end of the golden generation. And the rivalries between the teams. So when I was there, it wasn't probably as bad as what I've listened to some of the stories. But you would see United players on one table, Liverpool players on one table. It did try and get mixed up sometimes, but mainly you would see the groups that stick together. Probably that's what inevitably would happen. It's probably up to the manager to try and change that up.
It was really clear when I was in there, and like you said at the beginning, would you stay away from them? I think it was more of a case of them staying away from you, being like a sort of outsider because they were established players. Yeah. There was, when I was in there with Matty Upson and Wayne Bridge and Trev Sinclair and that, we generally find ourselves on our own eating, and then it'd be all the bigger clubs. And I think Scholes has alluded to it in his book, hasn't he?
That sounds sad to hear, though. I'm hearing that, thinking it's almost like a new boy in the school.
Yeah. But we we commented on it, and it was, like we were a little bit outsiders because we weren't, part of the gang or whatever. But it was the only two that really spoke to us. Really were Beckham and Sol Campbell.
Well, they feel threatened by you, or what do you think it was? The fact that you were just new to the squad?
I don't know. I think it's just because they were with the mates, and it's like anything else. If there's a group of mates over here and a group of mates over there, they just tend.
It's up to the manager.
Yeah, and I think that's where Gareth's done a great job in breaking down those barriers and those cliques, and you can see a more together group, all together group now, and that's one of the fantastic jobs that he's done. Ultimately makes for a better performing team.
Yeah, I've got to say, when I went, like some of the elder, like the older lads, Lampard was brilliant for me. Came up to me and like reassured me and like gave me confidence. And obviously I was a lot older than I was 31. That's not the normal age a lad goes into the England setup. So yeah, no, I've got to say everyone was fine to me, and I got on really well with the majority of the lads, to be honest. But like I said, I still did see kind of groups at that time.
Do you think that relates a little bit to what you were saying about going through your career and maybe maturing a little bit, and when you get to a certain age, then you find yourself, or you feel that you're responsible then to integrate people, and that's when the real leaders, and obviously Frank is a leader, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's shown it all the way through his career and now into management. But I think that you change and you see your role within a team changing the longer you play and the longer you experience those sort of things.
Do you think the fact there wasn't that brotherhood, perhaps, or there was the cliques, is the reason it didn't click for the team?
I think it probably would have been one of the reasons why, yeah. I think a strong team cohesion and dynamic is paramount to success, really. I don't think you see, cliquey teams doing very well over the course of history. I think you see, teams that are together. You mentioned the word brotherhood. If you need to be able to rely on every single one of your teammates and squad team members, when you're on the pitch. And I don't see that in, other teams like the Germans.
Spanish.
Spanish competition football. They're
Do you think that's
unbelievable,
because we've got the most, the most fierce league in the world, that it is so competitive?
So the club rivalries are overspilling into the international scene.
Where you get other countries, Germany, France, they all playing probably, or the Spanish players.
The Spanish players, the Madrid and the Barcelona players, eventually seem to iron out their differences, and they turned out to be able to be successful. And the rivalry between those two clubs is probably.
And do you think that is because they got older and more experienced and more?
Quite possibly, and also you would look at the manager and how he's done things to deal with that situation. I think that's something that can be learned from.
Yeah, definitely.
I think a lot of the Lampard and Ferdinand have come out and said, like, the Spanish team, they played round the plays, didn't they? Where we couldn't get our best players in the team sometimes, could we? Because we were adamant to play 4-4-2.
Yeah.
I think they've come out now and said that's probably one of the reasons why they didn't do as well in the competitions as well.
Yeah, it's never just one reason. There's always more than one thing that you can put your finger on that leads to why you're not successful when you've got a team. When you look back at, on paper, the players that we had back then, it is ridiculous how good that team should have been.
Yeah.
Right, time to dish a bit of dirt then. Let's just have some one name answers. So I say, the best trainer for a teammate. Who's the best person you trained with?